Hola, my friend. I'm Melissa V. Cartwright, and welcome to the Passionate Performer Podcast. You have a voice that deserves to be heard. And you also deserve to have a performance career where you don't feel like you're sacrificing who you are to meet the demands of the industry. I'm a Latin singer-songwriter, actress, and voice coach with 25 years of experience. And so I get it. I understand the grind, the joys, the ups and downs, and everything in between. We cannot keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So we are here to help you problem solve those challenges, figure out why we're feeling the way we do, and give you the next right step. We are not here to mess around. We are ready to take action. Let's go. Hello, fellow passionate performer. This is something that is so friggin' annoying. It's just so annoying. And you could be the best voice student in the whole world, right? Drinking all the water and all the things. And yet we still run into these situations where, from a biology standpoint, the mouth just immediately feels like the Sahara Desert. So what the heck is going on? When we talk about dry mouth in particular, when we're going to sing, I'm talking about that cottony feeling. You try to bite down, you try to swallow, and no matter how many times you do that, it just still feels like, not only is it dry, it almost feels like you are not able to enunciate or articulate something, or not being able to actually sing a note. It almost feels like you're about to choke. That's what I'm talking about here. And it's super annoying, especially when you feel like you've done everything right, but you're in that performance setting and it feels so wrong. And the mouth is letting you know. And we have to use that. That's our instrument, right? In order for us to sing and perform effectively. So why are we feeling this way? I'm going to start with what seems like the obvious question, but I'm still surprised by how much we don't actually hydrate ourselves sufficiently. I'm not just talking about water. Hydration can come with water-enriched foods, watermelon, cucumbers, anything that has excess water in it. And in some instances, milk can even be hydrating. If you don't have a dairy sensitivity or it doesn't cause phlegm for you, a lot of athletes will drink milk for recovery, for muscle recovery, because it has hydrating properties as well. So let's just start with what we are ingesting. And here's what happens. We almost treat our water bottle as a coping mechanism. We take that swig because we do it for comfort's sake. We think that that one swig is going to have this magical effect. And sure, instantaneously, we could feel some relief in the phlegm that's bubbling up. But my friend, it takes a while for that sip of water to not just hydrate your voice. The sip of water's job is to hydrate your entire body. All of your vital organs need that hydration, including your voice. So if you are just taking fast swigs and you haven't been making this a part of your regular routine, you are not going to feel the benefits thereof. So one easy thing I always tell singers to do, that I've adopted as well, is make it as easy as possible for you to hydrate. For me, that is anything with a straw. Whether it's water, whether it's an iced coffee, whether it's something bubbly, have the straw. Makes it way more easier than for me to have to twist something off and drink it. Another common mistake is that we will only take a sip of something when we feel thirsty. Don't wait until that moment. You can be taking regular sips, drinks of water throughout the day. Do you want to feel engorged, right, to the point of where your stomach feels uncomfortable and full? Probably not. But you don't have to do that if you're drinking on the regular. If you're in a day job situation where you can't make it to the water cooler, but it's okay for you to have something with you, yeah, you can start attaching sips of water with a daily habit you have. Opening your laptop, if that is part of your day job. That's an easy reminder. Every time I open my laptop, I'm going to take a sip of water. Every time I go to check an email, I'm going to take a sip of water. That's an idea called habit stacking. It was explained beautifully by James Clear in the book Atomic Habits. I highly recommend. I'll make sure I link it in the show notes as well. But it's just easy ways of adopting new routines or creating new routines by attaching them to something, to a reward, something you look forward to every day or something that's a non-negotiable for you every day. Easy way to start incorporating the actual art of drinking, of hydration. And then just careful with things that you notice immediately dry you up or add excess phlegm. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to avoid certain foods because every single body is different. Every single voice is different. Just like I said a moment ago, milk may be a huge no-no for you, but it may not be an issue at all. Okay, so just pay attention to how you're feeling when you ingest something and what happens immediately after. Because if it's good for the body, it's good for the soul, it's going to be good for your voice. Other things at play here with hydration that I've mentioned before in previous episodes is not just what you drink, but also steam and nebulization. Those teeny tiny particles go directly to the vocal fold tissue when you inhale. So if you want something where you are going to feel the effects a little sooner, I highly recommend steaming. Steaming is basically hot water with a steamer, or if you don't have that, use your hot shower, use a pot of water with a towel over your head and inhale. Nebulization adds a saline solution that helps break up phlegm a lot quicker, especially on days where I feel mucusy or those allergies are killing me. I will definitely nebulize for an added boost of hydration and also phlegm management. Okay, so let's say you've done all that, but for whatever reason, whenever you feel nervous or anxious, immediately dry mouth. That's actually a very common phenomenon. Anxiety Center says it's basically your sympathetic brain going into fight or flight. That probably sounds familiar to you. And what it's doing, it's saying, actually, I need to take this hydration from your mouth just for a moment and send it to your vital organs, like your muscles. It's preparing you for danger or something heightened. And for whatever reason, our bodies think that we don't necessarily need as much saliva in our mouth at the moment. That our other vital organs need that extra hydration. So in moments of anxiety, stage fright, fear, nerves, excitement, activation, you may notice this phenomenon as well. And something you can immediately do, whether you have the water or not, is just simply gently biting down on the tongue to activate the saliva glands and wet your whistle. So those are some very, very easy go-tos. Let's talk about circumstances that are beyond your control, like having to take an antihistamine. If you are a year-round allergy sufferer, you're probably already taking this on the regular. And so you already have a starting point or a threshold where you know you're going to experience some sort of dryness, but maybe on other days it's really crazy. Our antihistamines and medicines like that are designed to suck up the mucus, absorb it, and dry you out so that you're not dealing with excess. As a result, your mouth is going to feel a little drier. So you can just make it a point to up the hydration routine. So those are things that have to do with our body, right systems in our body, even in our brain, that could affect this sensation of having a very cotton mouth that inhibits our singing. But I've been in plenty of performance situations, and I've worked with artists like you in plenty of performance situations where the room itself is completely void of moisture. You may live in a climate that is very, very dry. So when you're in performance settings, let's say they're using fog, that's one of the biggest ones, or it is just a really hella old building. Over the holidays, I had to perform in a very, very old building, old theater. And let me tell you something, I could feel it as soon as I walked through the doors. Immediate dryness, just like something was off just by being in the room and inhaling. and yet I've got a job to do, right? Like the show must go on. So what do we do in those situations? In addition to biting down on the tongue, you might want to evaluate how much you're actually having to, number one, keep your mouth open for elongated notes, speaking parts, and can you try and inhale a little bit more through the nose when possible? Sometimes when we take a breath to sing, especially if you're singing a very fast, rhythmic song, you've just got to get air no matter what. The body's like, give me oxygen now so that I can fuel these vocal folds and sing the note. So in fast, rhythmic songs or shorter breaks or musical rests in the song, we might need to inhale through the mouth in order to deliver the sound. But if you can evaluate your music and evaluate moments, even in your set or your performance, where you don't have to do that, that probably would be a good time to sit down, look at your music, practice it both ways to see what feels good for you. Work with your vocal coach on some ways that you can sneak in some of these breaths that are through the nose. Or if you're a theater performer, for instance, does your acting always involve having to keep the mouth open in astonishment? Or, maybe that's a note from your director. You might have to do that. But see what I mean? We've got to get super detailed with, I'm in a room where I cannot control the moisture in the air, the humidity in the air, in this instance, the dryness. So what can I do in moments of rest, pause, or prep for a note that doesn't involve opening up my airways to the biggest possible degree with a mouth that's open to dry out the mouth? So I know it sounds funny, but really it's like, how long can you keep your mouth closed and use your nasal cavity, right? To inhale and to prep, or to really hang on to as much moisture as you can for singing. So, right? Like I again, it just is what it is. Let's go back and evaluate. Sometimes the room that you're in is out of your control. You can always ask your director, ask your tech crew, like, I'm feeling this way. Check in with your fellow performers. Are you feeling this way? Because chances are everybody's feeling a certain kind of way and experiencing the dryness as well. See if adjustments can be made at the set design level or in the room you're in. And if not, now you know what to do. Make sure that hydration is happening on the regular. Get creative with it, with fruits and vegetables and foods that have lots of water in them to hydrate. One more thing that's always a good thing to look at is any dry mouth sprays. They're designed to keep the saliva glands active. Other things that help are lozenges. Just make sure that they're menthol free. Menthol will dry you out. So things like Luden's cherry drops. Listen, Jolly Ranchers even, all right? Anything that has glycerin in it. That's a magic ingredient that's gonna also help keep the mouth and the saliva going to hydrate you, to avoid this dry mouth phenomenon. If this becomes chronic, definitely consult your doctor. Tell them what you do. Like, I'm a singer. Like, I need to be able to speak, to sing, to open my mouth and use it. And this is getting in the way. So you can look then at some medicinal recommendations that they give you as well. It's important, right, to answer these questions and get to the heart of how your body, your voice functions, so that you can do this for a long time and it still feels strong and clear and exactly the way that you want to show up when you perform. So if you want to go a little deeper and have a resource that's going to capture all of this information for you, show you how to build a practice routine in this season of your life, and really lay a foundation for singing songs that you love, experimenting with power in your voice, range, check out my Start Singing mini course. It was created with you in mind. This also is part of our Passionate Performer program. So if you want the course, plus all the other goodies that come with that, lesson discounts, group coaching, all that information's in there as well. So I am going to bite my tongue with you. Swallow. Let's take a big deep breath in through the nose. And break a leg, my friend. You got this.